This morning. We're going to discuss that this morning with the Daily Mail's Andrew Pearce and former Labour MP, Shadow Cabinet Minister Jonathan Ashworth. Now, though, at 6:05, here's Charlotte with the correspondent.
This weekend, I know. I'll have policy.
It looks like he was wrong.
Andrew just said I was.
Can you introduce us? People might think it's all very well for the Labour Party to do that when they're not in power, but the Labour Party to be in government and then campaigning for a particular candidate in a foreign election.
Yes, it did, and it rumbled on for a long.
So that is what Sir Keir Starmer faces. Former Prime Minister of the UK, you were trying to stop this happening.
Well,
families, I mean, there's a price people would pay beyond measure for that.
Absolutely.
No, he did not.
All of that information.
He didn't.
It was not relevant to the trial.
Well,
but he didn't know who the person was driving the car.
But still,
what's allowed in trial is what's pertinent to the trial. And if the police officer himself didn't know all of this about that individual,
but they would argue
of the case and the facts of the case on the ground were that the police officer didn't know the details of Chris Cabba. What I find this lingering concerns, of course, was named back in March and calling a bounty on his head of £10,000. I just indeed, let's have a look at the weather now. Are you fully prepared?
It is.
Laura, thank you. Still to come on Good Morning Britain. A TV...
And she's still got it. She's got it in resin. She's going to bring it in. So it's a prize trophy. Fatima Whitbread, of course. She wants to break into the charts now. She'll news, the travel and the weather wherever you're watching.
See you in a moment.
On ITV1.
See you in a moment. Murdering Chris Cabba has reportedly gone into hiding after evidence emerged of a £10,000 bounty on his head. Good morning, Britain. It's 7 o'clock. Our main news. Britain's most senior police officers have joined the head of the Metropolitan Police Service in calling on the government to give greater legal protection to firearms officers after a sergeant was cleared of murder following the fatal shooting of Chris Cabba.
Well, despite being cleared in court, Sergeant Martin Blake still faces an investigation from the police watchdog, and he could still lose his job. And it's emerged that a £10,000 bounty has been placed on his head by criminals who are seeking revenge for the fatal shooting. Well, our political correspondent, Louise...
And coming up, we are going to be discussing if armed police should have greater legal protection and speaking to a former specialist firearms officer who himself faced trial but was cleared of murder after he served for 33 years in the police. So has been through this exact experience.
Well, he was involved quite a few times, wasn't he? And not just once in legal shootings. And he's got a very clear view on this, which he's going to be expressing quite pungently, I think.
So we're going to have that discussion in about 5-10 minutes' time. Now, though, here's Charlotte with the rest of the day's story.